Hello everyone, this is Mel here. Today I'm back to talk about more house rules, homebrews for Warhammer Quest Cursed City. And today I want to talk about a homebrew called Tiles Special Rules Supplement. And you can see it over here. As you can see, this is created by myself, so I'm quite excited to talk about it. So, as the name suggests, what it does is it is going to add some special rules for the individual tiles of Warhammer Quest Cursed City. I think there's no doubt that one of the best thing or one of the highlights of Warhammer Quest Cursed City are the tiles. And you can see, for example, these ones, there's a lot of details in these tiles, and for example, this is the fighting pit tile. You can see there are some weapons scattered around. There's some spikes on the walls, and you can almost tell what happened to these locations right before Radicler took over the city. And just to give you some other examples, you can see this one. This is like a burial ground. You can see all the coffins are either being dug up or they are simply not buried. Unfortunately, in the game itself, these tiles don't represent any specific meanings. So there's no difference between this tile and this tile, for example. They are all just 3x3 squares. You fight on them. There's no specific cover systems like in the Blackstone Fortress and so forth. So what I'm trying to do here is to add back that layer that I think is quite important to me in all these kind of dungeon crawler games, which is to add meanings to these tiles. And one of the ways that I'm doing it is to basically give each individual tiles some kind of special rules, as you can see over here. So at the moment, I've only done it for the interior rooms, which you can distinguish them by looking at the color. So again, for example, this is a fighting pit, it's an interior room. Same for this tomb. But if we look at these ones, these slightly blue colored tiles, these will be the streets of Uvencon. So I want to do a little demo in this case to showcase what I mean by a tile special rules. And you can see here I've got the game set up. I've got two heroes today. I've got Glorio and also Golathis, the exile, the Ale lady. And what happened is, this is a hunt mission. We have just landed to Uvencon. We've dispatched or killed a couple of the undead walkers in the first tile on the street, and then we stumbled into this throne room. And you can see this is a beautifully illustrated room. Again, there's a lot of details you can see. There's a carpet there, the throne over there, and the blood stains all over the place. And I asked myself this question: what will Glorio feel when he first stumbled upon this room? Obviously, we know he's actually the only remaining nobles of the House Van Alten. He's a prince, and there's a very high chance that he would have been to this place before. So these are halls where the nobles or the merchants will discuss their matters, or do a little scheming in Games of Thrones styles, and there will be a very good chance that he had been participating in it. So seeing this place where his brothers or fathers used to stay in, I would imagine that he will feel a certain level of sadness in him, although he seemed to be on the rebellion side, so he might have like a favorite brother that he lost in this tragedy. But unfortunately, based on the original rules, there's no special thing happening on these tiles. So what I have done is to add back a little special rules that you can decide to apply or not. So the throne rooms. These rooms were once full of nobles and rich merchants arguing about trivial matters or disputes amongst them. Now only the undead occasionally roam these empty halls. And basically that's the kind of feelings that translate to myself when I first looked at these tiles. And I've given a special action that all human can do, all human heroes can do, and that is to pay respect to the throne. Roll the vitality dice. On a critical success, the hero is motivated and gain an inspiration point. On a miss, the hero will trigger a trap that is set on the throne. Make a defense roll. On a miss, take 1 wound. And I've also got a special rules for Imelda Braskov, because I think she's obviously the most honorable hero out of the 8 heroes that comes with the game. So I'll give her a automatic success in this kind of action. And you can only take this action once. So in our case here, Glorio might want to pay respect to the thrones, and let's see how it goes. So it will take a 4+ action, so he would need to do that, and he will need to roll a fidelity dice, which is a white square. So let's roll it. Oop, a miss. So he probably just touched on this throne, because this is one set by one of his most beloved brothers. But the Radica actually expected someone to come and pay respect, so he set up probably a dart trap, and then in that case it sprung, and it will need to Gloria will need to do a little defense dice, which is a triangle one. So let's see. Oh, he's really responsive to the dice. So he dodged the die, the dart, and he's unscathed. So in this case, he didn't gain anything out of it. But from my perspective, it creates a little story of himself seeing these locations and missing some of his long dead relatives. So I think this is the kind of feelings that I'm looking for when I'm talking about dungeon crawlings, and I think it gives a slightly additional layers to these tiles and utilize them and give them a bit of meanings. So I think this works pretty well with the original rule sets, and this works specifically well with the dungeon crawl rule sets by Jose, who has already updated the rules as well. So if you're interested, go and have a look. He also created his own video explaining it. I will post a link on the comments below, and that's it. Actually, I might do a bit more examples. So let's say if we move around, and I have set it up so that we use the dungeon crawl rules. There's a T-junction here. You can go up or you can go down. So let's say if Glorio moved down, so he would take his 6 action here and move a run action to next to the door, where we will do a search action. So according to the dungeon crawl rules, this will be a free action, so we can just see what is on the other side. Okay, you can see here, this tiles looks something like this. And let me set it up. So for this tile, I actually have rules for it as well. I call this the office room, as you can see over here. And the reason is because I think it looks like an office room to me. Although there's, you know, some coffins being put around. I imagine these were being put down after Rudder took over the city. But the special rules here is that you can see if we have any heroes with a Lore Master keyword, they can do a search action. They will need to roll defense dice. On a critical success, you will find a map showing the layout of the district, and you may pick the top 3 cards of the journey deck and rearrange them in any order. So in this case, we actually don't have any Lore Master because Glorio is a blade and Golathis is an executioner. So we can't do any special action on this tile, but it actually makes quite a thematic sense because right next to the throne room, you know, I would expect there will be some kind of office rooms for the nobles to do their more secretive or more daily task. But yeah, that's the kind of things that we are creating. And just to go through some of the other tiles, so like the one I mentioned earlier, if you go to the fighting pit tiles, then you can actually take damage as well, because as you can see, fighting on these spikes is not going to be easy for the heroes. And I have included rules where if you roll a specific event table dice, then all the enemies on these tiles all the enemies and the heroes on these tiles will take a damage, which will work in the benefit of the heroes, or vice versa. If you're being trapped here, if you're surrounded by the enemies and you have to be fighting from this fighting pit to attack the others. So that's basically it. So this is just my first draft. I have included majority of the rooms that I find them interesting with interesting features, and I've uploaded this to the Airship Facebook page for the community content. Feel free to have a look. I will update this regularly, probably include more rules, and feel free to comment below if you have your own little rules that you want to apply to these tiles. I would love to hear about them, and maybe even add them to this list so that we can all share it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.